Hi, my name's Dave Foster. I'm from DTE-Elite, and today I want to look at, are you being taught to teach or just taught to fail? So what are we talking about? I see a lot, and I'm seeing it come up again recently, YouTube videos, Facebook posts, etc., where trainers, really good trainers, or we think they're really good trainers. Some cases they are, some they aren't, and they're coming up with all these quick fixes to help PDIs, and it can sound really good and sounds great. And if you're a PDI or an ADI and you see some of these fixes, you can think, wow, well, why was I never taught that? And it's very easy to latch onto them, all these bright shiny things. I also hear a lot of them running down competitors, talking about the schools quite badly about them, and basically running them down completely, which is, it's not good really. I appreciate that some trainers aren't as good as others. But even within some of the big schools, there are some absolute diamond of trainers within them. And yes, there's some bad ones, but likewise with the individual schools. But let's not dwell on that. What is it we're looking at? What am I actually talking about? Well, here it is. How do you judge training and why it misleads? Well, often the trainer is very likable. They've got a good following on Facebook. Everybody thinks they're a wonderful guy, and it's probably great. If you want to go down and have a pint with them or go and have a game of golf with them, etc., then they're probably very likable, decent people. And they've got all these 3 or 4 one-fix wonders, etc. But I've seen them over and over again when these fixes come in and they're presented to examiners on part 3 or presented to pupils, and they just don't work all of the time, and there's a problem. One example recently, a PDI I had who went to test and started talking about the 12 o'clock rule on roundabouts. That sounds good. We've heard about this one. That makes life easy, doesn't it? If an exit is after 12 o'clock, then you've got to put your right hand signal on. And it sounds great, and it quantifies it. It gives it something. And for us, we see this and, oh my God, yes, that makes sense. Hallelujah. But stop. This is what the examiner said. It does not work all the time. That's just what he said. He said, where did you get this from? And of course, the guy said, well, I saw it on a YouTube video. What does it say in Driving Essential Skills? What does it say in the Highway Code? This is what the examiner was asking. Of course, the PDI is looking very, And at this point, the PDI has failed. They've just lost the whole attempt because of taking on something, and it wasn't just that fault alone, etc. But there were various other things. But this is a point I'm making. The PDI had taken on something. They believed in good faith. The trainer is a lovely, likable guy. His course is enjoyable. He tells everybody he's got a high pass rate, and he's all over Facebook with his recommendations. And the trainee did not realize. Another one I've heard recently is the rule of 3 from another likable trainer who runs an enjoyable course, who tells everybody he has a high pass rate and is all over Facebook. The rule of 3. Once your learner has done something 3 times on their own, they have learnt it. Oh, that sounds excellent as well. Oh my Lord, if only I knew, because I don't know how many times I've got to teach a learner before they learn it. In the past, it's been one of the most common questions people said to me. How many times should I prompt things? How many times should I guide things or let them do it independent? And for a trainer who's likable, who's got a great course and says she's got a high pass rate and is all over Facebook, a trainer to say that gives that PDI license, gives them substance to go, brilliant, I've got a definite answer to my question. But again, you probably know yourselves already, it doesn't always work. It may work for that basic junction, the learner may do it, but are they doing it out of rote? Are they doing it from repetition? Are they doing it from memory? Or are they doing it because they fully understand the consequences, they fully understand the fault and the risks, and they're there? I think you know the answer to that. Being told it is good is, and having the confidence is not evidence that it's done. Knowing it is good, again, repetition of doing something is not evidence. A good trainer can impress without being grounded in DVSA standards, without good pedagogy, or current guidance. Pedagogy is the science of learning. So, if we're teaching, which is what a driving instructor trainer is teaching, they're not necessarily teaching driving, but they're teaching skills. That trainer needs to have a good understanding of teaching processes and teaching skills, etc. So, and that is basically pedagogy. They're not the same. So, what good training actually develops? Well, it's not scripts, not routines, it's capability. When I say not routines, I'm not talking about not using MS, PSL, and POM, etc. They're brilliant routines when they're needed and can be really helpful. But it's not scripts, it's not reciting a script and going through this thing. I know trainers out there who will give you a complete script and say, this is all you need to say, and if you say this, your learner will learn. Rubbish, doesn't work. Not routines, it's not a matter of, right, I'm going to give a 7-minute briefing and then I'm going to do 3 guided, 3 prompted and 3 independent, and then at the end I'm going to ask them how they feel and I'm going to move on. Not that, that's a routine, it doesn't work. It's different for other learners, each learner is different. What is it? It's simply identifying what your pupil needs. I think each and every one of you could get in a car, get a learner to go for a little drive, and within a very short period of time, you would have an understanding of the faults or the needs of that learner. You might have a list of 3, 6, 10 different areas where your pupil needed support. Manage the risk. Okay, which of those things on your list is the most dangerous, or which is the most needy? Which one do you really need to fix most? If a learner is struggling with their roundabouts, struggling with observation or hesitation on junctions, etc., and they've also got a clutch problem where they're not understanding the clutch fully and they're stalling or they're hesitating with the clutch, well, which do we fix first? Yeah, I'm hoping here you are all saying the clutch. Don't teach a pupil to do other things who can't move off and stop safely, who can't do the basics. It's analysing the risk and picking one and fixing that first, fixing it properly. It's adapting the lesson. Okay, you've looked up and said we're going to do the turn in the road, or we're going to do the roundabouts, whatever, it doesn't matter, and you see something else that is more risk, that is more dangerous, or is going to prevent the learner from learning, okay, then adapt the lesson, change it. Go back and fix that clutch. Go back and fix those mirrors. Fix them. Go and get them, take them, if you're working on the mirrors, and take them to an area where they can sort the mirrors out, basically. What's the risk, what's the dangers, go through that. Take them to a more advanced area where they're going to use even more mirrors, etc., and then even more advanced area where they're there. Get it fixed, make sure that you know those mirrors are fixed and that learner fully understands why the errors occurs. It says it there. Diagnose the cause, not the symptoms. Why are they not checking their mirror? Why are they not using the clutch? What are the risks if they don't? What are the dangers? Let's answer all these questions. Have that conversation with them. It is what the examiner is looking for. You need to come out of it and fully understand and reflect on performance. The trainee license is a very powerful tool for you guys, but it's a tool to practice, a tool to learn. Yes, you're going to try and earn a bit of money along the way, but it's essentially about learning. Each and every lesson reflect what went well, what didn't go so well, what could you do better next time, what could you change. That's reflecting on practice. When you're doing the lesson, reflecting practice, how did that work? Change it and keep changing, fine-tuning it, getting it better, etc. I just recently produced a new reflective workbook to help with this. Because the old one was very much based on my course that I deliver as an instructor trainer, or my trainers train. The new one is a generic course. It's all about reflection. It talks about the competencies and what the examiners are looking for. The social media trap, this is the clever slogans. This is where people go out there, going out there and shouting, yellow schooler motoring are rubbish, it's going to get a lot of support. And obviously I've changed the colour to suit to protect the innocent, but we're going to get a lot of support because people go, yeah, I'll go around that. A lot of trainers have, been with some of the big schools and they haven't been taught well, or they haven't accepted or taken on responsibility for their learning. And yes, they're looking for excuses to why they didn't pass. So anyone coming on that is there, but it's not good. Rule of 3 sounds fantastic, great, but it's not it's not complete. It's neat, it's memorable, and it says there, but it's incomplete. It doesn't actually tell you whether your learner really learned. And we often see short videos with catchy rules, and it's very easy to latch onto them and think, oh yeah, I like that. But often they're more entertainment, they're not instruction. Teaching people to teach without understanding is dangerous. You've got to get the understanding of what you're doing in there. So as I said, it's not fixed scripts. It's not about repeated phrases. It's not one size all matters. Rote training has its place at times, sometimes to get a system in place, yes, but importantly is the understanding, flexibility. Can they do the clutch not only on the level, but on a slight hill, on a high hill? Can they do it as they go around a corner and turn up a hill? Can they check their mirrors on quiet roads, but will they also check their mirrors on the busy roads, etc.? They need to have, this is professional judgment. We have professional judgment. We are creating thinking drivers. We want the learner to be able to think for themselves. I get criticized sometimes. Somebody will often say to me, oh, should I check a mirror here? I won't go yes. Now I'll say, well, what does the highway code say? What do you think? What do you feel? But we end up with conversations with our learners where they understand and they can talk back and they know that their answers are going to be valuable and accepted, etc. And above all, responding to the here and now. If you see something happen now, don't think I'll fix that tomorrow, I'll fix that on the next lesson. Don't think, oh, my learner normally does that, don't know what's going on there, and ignore it. Deal with it. Last night a instructor trainee sat in one of their first observational sessions where an instructor jumped in the back with the instructor with a pupil, and he was absolutely shocked at how far back the pupil regressed. The pupil turned into, I just couldn't believe it. As I said to the instructor, and I bet you felt like a gibbering idiot sitting in the car not knowing what to do. He says, yeah, I didn't know what to do. And what did he do? He just carried on with the lesson he intended to teach, and it all went wrong, So adapt to the pupils in real time, adapt to them straight away, just deal with the here and now. Deep apologies for the left-hand drive car there, but moving on. Role play does help. It's a great way of starting off teaching instructors with the role play in environments, but real pupils really prove it. You can take a trainee out for 40 hours of role play, stick them in the car and with a learner, and it all goes out the window. I can't tell you how many times we've done a lot of role play and we've talked about the aims and objectives of a lesson. We've sat down and we've structured lesson, we say the aims and objectives, we've done the recap, etc. And the training instructor gets in the car with the learner and just go, right, drive. And they just drive and it just all goes out the window. And it's weird. Similarly, I used to teach in an area which had an off-road circuit with traffic lights and mini roundabouts, and you could take them off-road and get them to drive round. I tried it a few times. It was quite good. The learners were driving around this route quite well, etc. Took them onto the main road, and you had to start them off all over again. It was almost as if it had no bearing on what they were doing. So trainers observe real pupils' lessons, part of the trainee license is we are teaching or we are supervising our trainees and we are helping them there. And the best way to do that at this point is to sit in the back, try and be as quiet as possible, watch a lesson delivered by a PDI, and then give them genuine feedback, only interrupting if you really feel there's risk, etc. But it's genuine feedback on that. And most of the time, it's just a bit of feedback. It's just, there are certain faults you will see that happen all the time, and you just give them the feedback and guide them there. But I don't think you can beat real pupils. It works well. And this brings me to what I'm saying here. The training license is a structured training development. It's about real teaching and you developing your skills. Okay. It's a stepping stone. You have to use the training license. You have to reflect. Stop worrying about pupils. Let your school do that for you. Stop worrying about doing your logo for your driving school and etc. Just concentrate on learning your trade. There are not enough hours in a day just to learn your trade most of the time without starting to try and develop the business side of it. That can come later. Two kinds of reflection, both are essential. Reflection in action, that's actually in the car, reading the lesson and adjusting to the lesson and adjusting to your pupil in the car, thinking, what do I do next? What's best here? And developing it. Your reflection on the action is after the lesson. Sit down as soon as you drop the pupil off, as soon as you can. What worked, what didn't work, and what to change the next time, and work on that. If you're not sure, you need to contact somebody, then contact your trainer, contact me if necessary. Find somebody who you can trust, but make sure they're not just going to give you answers. They're not going to just go, do this, do that, do this. Make sure they do reflection with you. What do you feel you should do? What happened when you did that? What other alternatives could you have tried? Let them draw the answer out of you. Again, an instructor trainer who just tells you the answers, etc., is not a good instructor trainer. It may sound to suit your needs at the time, but you need somebody who's going to do the same as what we're telling you. We're telling you with your learners, what should you do here? Get them to draw the answer out, and they need the same. And use some sort of reflective log or workbook, etc. You make sure anything you do is completely grounded in the DVSA syllabus, okay? Not some other school, not etc., not Joe Bloggs' system, etc. They need to be looking at DVSA syllabus. You can find that quite easily. It's down in the standards as well. Look it up, make sure you're following this. Make sure they're explaining the theory behind teaching, not just telling you what to do, but why you're telling it. Make sure you understand it. Make sure your training includes real pupils, supervised teaching with genuine learners. It works far better than just trying to do role play. Role play has its role, don't get me wrong, has its place, but not all the time. And you need a trainer who's going to give you honest feedback, not dress it up too much, but honest feedback. We'll be talking to you about the good, and we'll be talking to you about the bad, and we'll be giving you or discussing with you ways to improve and get it better. And they need to prepare you for the whole process, the full journey, all in this one. Ask yourself better questions, become a better instructor. Keep asking the questions, get them right. There is no such thing as a stupid question. Well, there is. A stupid question is the one you never asked, the one that you sat there and were too scared to ask anybody, etc. And if you're looking for anything, then get on my website, DTE-Elite, training resources and books in there. Everything is written alongside the standards. You're not going to find any fables and myths in there. It's in there. Thank you so much for listening. Speak to you soon. Bye.